Okay. Oh my goodness. I don't know what happened, but can you guys hear me and see me? Can somebody let me know if we're here successfully? Can you guys see me live? My internet just like totally shut down as I was getting ready to go live and it all just disappeared. So I have no idea if anybody can see me or hear me. And if not, I'm just going to go back. So I'm going to give this a minute. And today we're going to be talking about building a profitable team and just kind of the key steps to think about. So let's see. Okay, so Tammy, thank you so much. And somebody else says, yes, you can hear me. Okay, yay, we're here. All right, so just gonna turn this on because we're simulcasting on different platforms. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So welcome to this live stream, our weekly show. Today we're gonna be talking about building a profitable team, which is one of my really favorite topics. And it's not for everybody, right? So this is a topic that is for just a very serious entrepreneur, right? Because leading a team and growing it to a profitable team is not for folks who are just wanting to build like hobby style business because it's an investment you're making and it's a time commitment and so on and so forth. But before we get started, I just want to, number one, if you guys could click the link above, it says like you have to give StreamYard permission so I can see your name, because otherwise it just like shows Facebook user and whatnot, and I can't really interact with you and I don't see who's asking questions, so I would really appreciate it. So some of the things we're going to cover today, I'm going to dive right in because we have about 20 minutes to cover a lot. All right, so I'm going to be moving at a pretty good pace. So what you're going to learn today, first, I'm going to talk about the things you need to get clear on before you even put the position out there, before you even start interviewing people, right? And in the conversations with people. Number two, we're going to talk about onboarding experience and training experience for your team members. And what do you need to do to make sure that your team is profitable from the get-go? All right. So I want to share a little bit of my story with how I got to where I am when it comes to leadership. So the thing that I think held me back from growing in my business the most was wanting to do it all on my own, because I was the one who could do it the fastest, the best. It could just do it all on my own. It's going to be the cheapest too. And it was the unwillingness to invest into my team, right? Unwilling to invest into giving them more hours, to invest into their training, to invest my time into helping them be effective. It was one of the things that was really becoming a bottleneck. And it got to a point where I had a team of people who was supporting me through our retreats, and I was still the one closing the most sales. And that was very frustrating for me. And I was like, well, why is this? Why am I the strongest closer here when I don't even know I'm not the strongest salesperson on the planet? You know what I mean? And the thing that was happening is that I was not really all in investing into my team. I was not all in on them, if that makes sense. I was just kind of like, I'm going to try and see if they can do this. And if not, I'm just going to give them something else to do. All right. So I want you to have some mindset shifts on this. And the first thing I want you to think about when you bring on a team member and you're wanting for them to contribute to the bottom line, which you absolutely should, is you're going to have to go all in, and you're going to have to provide the trainings, the support, the coaching, the mentorship, the accountability to help them get there. Because everybody wants their team to be profitable, right? Everybody wants their team to be helping with sales and lead generation and this and this and that, right? But if you're not willing to go all in and do everything it takes to get them there, you can't expect to get them there. Is that making sense to everybody? So, and I want to speak to you guys like depending where you are in your business. So this is for you, even if you're like starting out and you're just getting that VA to help you, right? Or if you are already $100, $200, $300,000 mark and you're working on growing your team, right? So it doesn't matter whether you're working with somebody like who works for you 10 hours a week, helping you with content, uploading and yada, 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 or whether you have a full-time coach or salesperson or operations person, right? The approach is the same. You cannot afford to pay somebody even for 10 hours a week if they're not paying for themselves and they're not helping to generate revenue in your company. And this is the biggest thing where people really fall into a trap, right? Because they bring that VA or that social media person or whatever to help them with their business. But the number one, the person is focusing on the wrong things. Number two, it's taking them way too long because they don't have the expectations. Number three, they don't know how to contribute to the bottom line. So with every single role, starting with the 5 hours a week role or 10 hours a week role, all the way to you having, multiple people on your team helping you grow your business to 7 figures, you need to make sure you follow what I'm teaching here on whatever scale you're in to make sure that your team members are profitable, every single one of them. So far, so good. I know that's like a little bit of maybe what you were not expecting here, but I really wanted to have this conversation with you guys. So I want to share with you some of the key principles that I want you to think about, okay, as you're bringing on the next team member, right? So number one, you'll have to get really clear on the role you're hiring for or finding a contractor for, whatever, wherever, depending on the stage of your business, and how exactly that role is going to contribute to the bottom line of the company. I'm going to give you some examples of how my team does that, right? So for example, Melissa does coaching and she literally just generated 67 referrals, 3-way introductions from our clients or from her clients that she's coaching within our company. 67 3-way introductions with referrals who are joining our next retreat and who are interested or have some interest in becoming a client, right? And that's from one coach, right? So that's pretty incredible, right? And that's how you can think about it if you have somebody doing your client support, all right? And of course, you have to provide the systems and the training for that. Or if you're having a VA role, right? Your traditional like social media content marketing sort of thing. So Selena on our team handles that part for us, right? And I want to say, she might be watching this. I think she just scheduled 7 consults on her team calendar, and it's only Monday. Okay, it's only Monday. So imagine what's possible, Monday through Friday, and that's just through content, right? So how many consults, is your VA getting for you, right? So this is super, super, super important for your VA or, marketing person or whoever is doing your social media content to be focused on registering people into your 7-day retreats, which a lot of you guys are doing, are going to be doing, especially after you attend our 7-day retreat, right? But also scheduling those consults. That's how you get very quick ROI on that role, right? Just scheduling a few consults, the role pays for itself like very, very quickly, right? And that's very, very easy to do, by the way. Sales role. If you have somebody doing sales and lead gen, that's very straightforward, right? They're going to be responsible for bringing people to your event and then having conversations, first connect calls, implementation calls, then later, consults to talk to your potential clients about your program, and then ultimately closing sales, right? Or if you have somebody doing Facebook ads for you, right? For us, every 5K we spend on sales, I expect 100K of revenue to come from that, right? So we expect 20X on that spend. Does that make sense? So it's very, very important, right? Every single role that you have in your company, that you know how, if you're investing money into that and investing your time into that, you know exactly how that is going to generate revenue for you. So it's super, super, super important. And I didn't know that when I started doing this, like when I brought Jay first on board, I was like, can you just like proofread my content to make sure it's not getting sent out with typos? And that's how we started, right? And then I started learning. And I realized, as I was giving her more hours, I realized, well, now I have to do more sales because now I'm responsible not just, for feeding my family, but now I'm responsible for making money for Jay, right? Then I was like, wait. That can't go indefinitely. I can't bring in like 10 different team members and now I have to generate sales for everybody, right? So then I hired a coach and I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to shift something here. And I started mapping this out. And we actually now work with Kelly Roach's 5X model, where we require, it's a brilliant model. We literally require everybody who's on our team to generate a 5X of what we're paying them. And, it starts with them paying for themselves in the first month, maybe 6 weeks, right? And then 5xing from there. So it's very, very exciting, right? And that is where you really truly get to partner with your team, because it's not just about them making money for you, but also them making money for themselves, right? Because not only they're going to be generating sales, but they also be making commissions, whether it's from our clients up leveling to the next program, or whether it's from sales commissions and stuff like that, right? So that needs to be in place, of course, right? And then they have their own dreams and goals that you work with them on, and it's like of course, like they want to make a difference for people. That's number one. But number two, they also have their own financial goals. Make sense? So far, so good, guys. I'm going to check the chat in a minute so to cover a couple things. But if you have any questions, like make sure you pop it in the chat and I'm going to answer it towards the end of the session. So every single role, it needs to be generating sales in some shape or form, right? Some shape or form. But how do you tell people that, right? That is the question. That is the question. Like somebody comes into your company, bam, now you're responsible for sales. Wait, I didn't sign up for that. I just wanted your customer support, whatever, right? So that's where really communicating clearly in your job description, during the interview, everything that you do, communicating clearly what they're responsible for, how is it going to be measured, and what's the pathway of getting there. Right? And that's where I used to be like really shy around that. I was literally like scared. If I tell somebody they have to bring in, 20K in sales or whatever, what are they going to think? They're going to be like, oh, get me out of here because this is not for me. But that's the thing. It's like, number one, if this is not what they're in for, then they're not the right fit for you. Because if somebody's not contributing to the bottom line, the only alternative is that they're driving the company down, and nobody wants that. Everybody wants to feel successful, right? So it depends how you phrase it and how you communicate it, but everybody wants to be successful. Number two, it's like what's in it for them? What's possible for them? Right? But expectation is going to be really, really clear. Like now we are hiring for 3 different roles right now. And the job description says you're responsible for A, B, and C, right? You're responsible for, bringing 200 people into our next retreat. Here's how the Legion's going to work. You're also responsible for blah, 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 blah. And then you're going to be taking a portfolio of clients, right? And to the right person, this is really exciting, right? Because they're going to get a lot of training and they're going to get a lot of support, and they'll get to master not just sales, but also like high-level business consulting. So that's really, really cool. But in the past, I was just like, yeah, there's no way anybody would want to do that. And guess what? We have over 100 applications, video applications for this role, right? So not so much. It's just you need to be very upfront and clear about how you communicate it. So let me just scroll through the chat a little bit and just see. Okay, Patty says made perfect sense. Rachel says those are huge numbers. Let me know what numbers you're talking about. I would love to know a little bit about that. Maybe I can clear something up. Carolyn, so good to see you. Happy to see you here. All right, so let's keep moving through this. The question is like, how do you actually get your team profitable, and how do you actually pay your team to how do you get them to pay for themselves within 30 to 45 days? So here is a few things to this. Number one, you will have to be very good at communicating the vision of where the company is going and what is their career progression and why are they doing it, and like explaining like all the time, not like once a month you're gonna like have a CEO meeting or just a call where you're gonna communicating the vision. It's literally all the time with almost every meeting, right? And in our company, I'm like, if I'm not doing it, I'm like, Melissa, can you be doing that? If I forget, like, are we making sure we're always communicating the vision and why what we're here for? It's a nonstop, right? It's a nonstop. Where are we going next month, next year? What's the grand vision? Why are we so obsessed with our client success? Blah, 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 right? So that's the most important thing. You have to lead with that. Otherwise, if people don't know why they're moving through all these things, why they have to be learning so fast, and it's very scary for your team to be learning lead gen and sales and all that. And, it can be very, very scary, just like it is for you, right? In your business. So you have to communicate the why all the time. Number two, you have to teach them. You have to teach them. You have to train them. Right? If it's not you, somebody else has to teach them or train them, right? Either you're good at lead gen and sales and you're going to teach it, or you're going to bring somebody else who's going to do the teaching. But they need to know, okay, if I'm supposed to be closing sales, if I'm supposed to be closing, 2 sales within the first month, 5 the next month, or whatever, right? You need to make sure they're taught and they're trained. Right? And teaching and training are two different things. One thing is in theory, like telling them, okay, here's how it works, and breaking down step by step what they need to be doing. But the other thing is having them practice it, right? I can't even tell you, at this point in my business, we're spending at least 2.5 hours a day with our new team members, between myself and Melissa and sometimes Jay. We're spending 2.5 hours a day just teaching and training and debriefing and coaching, right? Probably more than that. Some of it is led by me. Some of them is, mock conversations and blah, 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 and just getting practice and answering questions. Some of them is debrief after the day. Some of it is, stand-up meeting and da-da-da-da-da. There's just a lot, right? Now, I'm where I am. I'm not trying to go from 0 to 6 figures. You know what I mean? You're not going to need to do that when you're new, right? But you will need to invest the time and the effort into doing that, right? I was just talking to an entrepreneur over the weekend, a friend of mine who is doing 6-figure months, and she's not spending any time investing into her team. And she's like, I don't know how I find this time. I'm already working 10 hours a week. I literally don't know how to put this time into team training. And I'm like, you will have to, because you're the bottleneck in your business, right? So whatever level you're at, you're going to adjust it, but you have to be investing time into teaching, into training. If you're training somebody on sales, you have to be role-playing conversations. You have to be with them, practicing the sales calls, all that jazz, and talking to about how they communicate in social media and all that, right? The other thing is, going live. I'm sure you guys saw Ollie and Sam go live today and on Friday, and that is because, we all have to be practicing going live and teaching and all that, right? That's part of it. That's part of them, building their self-confidence, learning how to teach, all that. That's part of the experience, right? So that's part of the teaching and training and all that. There's also time blocking. And this is super crucial for all of you guys, even if you're working with your VA 5 hours a week. showing them how to time block, sitting with them and time blocking, or showing them a sample of what their schedule should look like is extremely crucial, right? Because that's part of the pacing. If they, like what the majority entrepreneurs do when they bring that first person on, it's like, okay, can you help me with my landing pages, my Canva graphic? And that the person just gets into like overthinking and trying to make it all perfect. And they'll spend like 10 hours a week, like making graphics and creating a landing page that in reality can be done in 2 hours, right? Create some templates, fill it in, and done. So really communicating where you expect them to spend the time. And really, the majority of their time should be focused on the things that will get you consults, registrations, time with clients on the call, right? The revenue generating activities. So really breaking it down. How does this work? How do the time blocks work? Super, super important. So again, we talked about communicating the vision. We talked about teaching the A to Z on how they should get their results, right? If you're not doing it, somebody else is doing it, right? So if you're learning sales, somebody's learning sales alongside with you. Don't do the blind leading the blind. Bring an outside expert to teach you that, right? Number 3, time blocking, right? Teaching them what it should take, right? Number 4, coaching and debriefing. Our team, we have a meeting every single day. I think it's at 4:30, right? Debriefing the learnings from the day, just kind of, what they learned, what they're getting from it, what the questions, they're doing reports on all the modules they're taking, all the coaching calls they observed. Okay, what's the questions, making sure that they can really get their questions answered and not be stuck on one thing and like move through the learning really, really quickly, right? And the coaching, right? The coaching on your team. You have to become a coach to your team. You have to be more committed to them than you're to your clients. And most people don't think about it that way. Hope you guys can see that, because most people think like, oh, I'm here to support my clients. My team is to support me. No. You have to coach your team. You have to help them become successful. Right? And I didn't see it that way for myself. I just didn't see that I should be their coach. I should be helping them move through these stages, right? And that was one of the biggest things. Once I got that, I was like, oh, okay, I have to be investing in them the same way I would into a client. The only difference that clients pay me, I pay my team. You know what I mean? But it's just because I pay them, they're still not going to be effective unless I really invest in them. Does that make sense to everybody? Can I get some ones in the chat? Yes, this is making sense so far. So good. Somebody says, yes, teaching and training are 2 different things. I agree. Rachel says it's making more sense. Awesome. Okay, cool. All right. So we talked about vision casting, teaching, training, time blocking, debriefing, coaching. The last thing is holding them accountable, right? So, this is what was giving me a lot of like, I don't want to do that. When I first started leading a team, I hate holding people accountable. It feels weird. I don't want to have to tell them, you're not meeting your goals, because that will make them feel bad and they're going to just feel bad and quit and whatever, right? I was so not comfortable with these conversations. But the thing is, once I realized that, for example, and Melissa, sorry, I'm putting our conversations on the spot here. Melissa has a huge goal for her career, where she wants to go with her company, how much she wants to make, like all the difference she wants to make in the world, and making a difference for homeless and, and traveling to Alaska and this and this and that, right? And, growing her own farm and a really great list of things. Now, instead of focusing on doing that through her business, right, she is doing that within our company, which means my responsibility is to make sure she gets there. My responsibility is to make damn sure that she's going to reach all those goals. of course, that, I need to empower her to like take ownership of that. But I partner with her, and I partner with Jay, and I partner with Ollie, and so on and so forth, right? Okay, what is your dreams? How do we make sure we get you there? Make sense? And from that perspective, okay, where are we doing on the number of calls you have for the week on the calendar? How we're doing on the number of leads, right? And everybody is accountable. If they want to meet their sales goals, right? And if they want to meet their lead generation goals, or like scheduling the consults on the calendar, whatever it is, I have to hold them accountable, and I have to provide the support and the training and so on and so forth. I hope this is making sense for you guys, because instead of thinking of accountability as being the mean person who's telling me my team they're doing a sucky job, instead you're going to partner with them on helping them to create what they want in their life. You co-create together. You partner together on that. Does that make sense? Ideal that they would want to partner with you, there are going to be people who don't get it, right? Who just like don't, you're going to work with people like, nah, don't really care, don't have much of goals. I'm like comfortable where I am, but, I still, for me, it's like I want to do my best to support people on their journey, right? And some of them are just not going to get it, and that's fine. Some of them are going to be like, heck yeah, this is what I want, and let's do this together and help me get there, right? So that's the kind of person you want, who's going to partner with you, who's going to see the vision that you have for your company, and who's going to be excited about the journey that's going to get them there. And it's going to be, for my team, it's not an easy journey. It's exactly the journey you're going through in your business. And that's because they have to go through it in order to go coach on it anyway, right? So for them, it's like, oh my gosh, I have to register 200 people into the next retreat. How on earth do I do that? Oh my gosh, now I have to get 10, what's their, total of, 25 calls per week with people on the calendar. We used to be happy for 2 consults on our calendar per week, right? Now it's like, okay, I have to be talking to like 15 people, 15 connect calls, 10 consults, whatever. It's a lot, right? How the heck do I do that? It's a lot of learning. It's a lot of discomfort. It's a lot of practicing, right? It's extremely uncomfortable, right? But if somebody wants to grow, and that's the same thing for you guys in your business. If you want to grow your business, right, it's not going to come to you because you put a Facebook ad out and you're hoping somebody will land on your consult and they'll magically want to work with you. It's going to be moving through a lot of discomfort, a lot of like, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm doing on these sales calls and connect calls, and I don't even know, and that's the same learning curve that your team is going to be going through, right? So it's not a comfortable journey. It's not an easy journey, but there is rewards on the other side of things. And the growth is immense. The growth, right? It's like the joy of growing your business, just overcoming all of your imposter syndrome and fear of rejection and like not good enoughness that you had to go through or still are going through in order to become a successful business owner, is the same exact thing that your team will have to go through to become a leader or co-leader in your company, right? So it's not for everybody. It's for the right person. They're like, oh my goodness, this is, I'm in for this, right? So anyway, I hope that gave you some tips, and I'm super curious. Did anybody here get a little bit of a, mindset shift out of this session? Did anybody here start thinking about team a little bit differently? Maybe just a little bit differently than, you did 30 minutes ago when we started this session? Because I really want you guys think of your team as the best thing that can happen to your company. If you do this right, literally, sky's the limit in your business. Sky is the limit. I think about where I want to go, right? And we're now reverse engineering $1 million retreat. That means closing $1 million in revenue in 7-day retreat, right? Have not done it yet, but we will by the end of this year. We're reverse engineering this. And, of course, I'm looking at, okay, what kind of team is it going to take, and what kind of leader is it going to take on my end to make that happen? And, to truly support our clients and make this an amazing experience. And what kind of training I will have to do with my team, how many people will have to bring on, how many leaders I'll have to promote, yada, 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 right? What kind of operation systems is going to take, so on and so forth, right? Which is incredible journey. I cannot even tell you how exciting it is, but also how much this is taking of me. You have no idea. It's like I have to be a completely different human being that I've never been before, right? It's like if you think you make it a six figures or, or multi six figures, it's going to be, easy from there. No. Right? It's going to become just a whole different animal of breakthroughs and having to let go of, things and mindset shifts and so on and so forth. All right, I will let you guys. I'll let you guys go. I'm so glad. Oh yes, Althea, partnering with them. Yes. Somebody said we'll have to replay this. Patty said absolutely awesome. Yeah, so just really, really thankful for you guys being here live. This was a little bit of an advanced session that we don't do that often, right? Because most people are just still figuring out, sales and marketing and how do I get the clients? And, I want you to think long term about what is it going to take to truly, truly grow in your business. So thank you so much for being here. It's been a blessing. I'm going to jump now. If for you guys, if anybody here is like, I want to jump ahead of the line and I want to talk to you about how we can work together. If somebody on my team could pop a link to our consult calendar. We do 20-minute free consults where we can dig into how we work with people. Would this be a good fit for you? It's, just very, we're all adults, like having straight conversation. Hey, what are you trying to get to? Can we work together? Is this the right fit or not? Right. So it's really a really fun conversation. Super excited for that. So make sure you schedule that. For the rest of you guys, our 7-day retreat is, oh my gosh, next week, 7 days from today. So I didn't mention this, but let me highlight some things for you. You want to block your time on the calendar for this. It is going to be the best week of your life in terms of business. I don't take that promise lightly, but give it everything you got next week. Be there. It's 12 Eastern on Zoom every single day. We're going to be posting the worksheet. We're still on Ton of Connect calls with you guys, tweaking what we're putting there. We have done this before, so we obviously know what we're teaching, but we always want to customize it to you guys. Okay, so there's going to be a worksheet. There's going to be homework. We're gonna have implementation sessions every single day, which is not sales calls. It's free 10-minute conversation to get you clear on an aspect of whatever you need to get clear on. It's going to be an unbelievable experience. So put that on your calendar, 12 Eastern every single day next week, 7 days straight. I am just like beyond excited. We have, I want to say, I don't know, like close to 1,500 people registered. I have no idea. It's going to be a blast. So 1,400, something like that. So I'm just over the moon and really, really, really looking forward to next week. So let us know if you don't have your implementation advisor. Somebody on my team reached out to you when you pop into our March retreat group, right? And if nobody reached out to you, just comment underneath and said, hey, I need a implementation advisor, and somebody will reach out to you and be connected to you and make sure you're clear about what's happening. Day 1, we're going to put together your hybrid program. Day 2, we're going to talk about your legacy brand. How does your, the brand, like our surf brand, sort of like, what is your model, formula, method sort of thing that you're going to go out there and become really known for. We're going to reverse engineer your roadmap to your revenue goal down to basically an hour on day 3. Day 4, we're going to talk all about lead gen. and how you can fill your virtual retreats. I'm going to share my routine that I used to do, hour-long routine to get 10 people registered, hour and 15 minutes, something like that. But we're going to talk about Legion a lot because that's where people get the most stuck on, really. And Friday, we're going to talk retreats and structuring them, what that looks like. Saturday, we're going to talk about mindset, 7-figure mindset, because you have to have that in order to get there. And Sunday, we're going to bring it all together and do a recap and Q&A. So I'm super, super excited. It's going to be just the favorite week. We do them every 8 weeks. This is like my favorite week of the 8 weeks when I get to really be there with you guys and have a lot of fun. And we're going to be moving pretty quickly. All right. This was a rather slow session today. On Monday, we're going to be diving into things very, very, very quickly. So make sure you're not multitasking, making sure you're ready to go with your worksheet. There's going to be a lot of puzzles that you're going to be putting together on Monday around your program. So you don't want to miss a minute. And then you will get to work with your implementation advisor to get the details down and make it work for you. Awesome. I'm super excited about that. I can't wait to see you guys there on Monday. And just, again, comment in the chat or chat with your implementation advisor in the DM, be it Melissa, be it Jay, be it Ollie, be it Sam. They're all available to you. If you don't have one, just, comment underneath. We're going to get you somebody assigned right away. And I can't wait to see you guys next week.